Hi, I'm Dr. Gwen Ford, and I'm so excited because it's another 30 minutes of action-packed, fun-loving, God-inspired talk. So call a friend, tell them to join us, or text them and tell them to join us. But stay with us for the next 30 minutes. It's time for the I Believe TV program. These testimonies are meant for you. They're meant for believers and almost believers. I don't know what category you fall in, but I'm putting on the screen right now my personal cell number, my personal email. You can catch me on Facebook, and I want to see if you can contact me with your testimony and tell me. I want to listen to how God touches you, how He's loved on you, how He's changed your life. And if you're having a troubled time right now and you just need prayer, call me. I will personally pray with you, because that's what we have to do. Unite in the body of believers, just like Ephesians 4 tells us to do. Come on, get with me and say, I believe. I'm going to be sitting here waiting on that phone call. Hey guys, I'm always asking you to pick up that phone and call a friend, and then I'm asking you to text someone and tell them about the show and check out the website and all this stuff. But now I'm going to do a new thing. This little box had me mystified. It's called a Roku box. It's kind of simple, kind of small, but boy, does it make you, it connects you with the whole world. It's only about $100, and the Creative Christian Network, we're on that Creative Christian Network, which this little box will connect you to 3 times a day, 7 days a week. You can catch us on demand. You can catch other Christian programming. This little thing is the now thing that's happening. So be sure to go to your favorite place to buy technical stuff. Get yourself a Roku box. That's all I can tell you, but it'll change your world. Thank you.
It's time for I Believe with Dr. Gwen Ford.
Thank you guys. I'm so excited because this show, I have a young couple that they're friends of mine. I feel like you guys are my friends. And they do so much in our area, and they work so hard. And you talk about unity in the body of believers. This is it in action. Please welcome to our cameras Paul and Terri from Live It. Hey guys. Hey. You guys are hard workers. Are you guys working on a house right now?
We just completed one.
You just did one.
Yeah, it was a grandmother that has her daughter and 5 grandchildren living in it.
5 grandchildren?
Yes.
Yikes.
So the widow and the orphans, fatherless and husbandless, living in the same house.
And we're really talking about a 1,200 square foot home, 7 people living, and only 1 bathroom was operational, and the floors were falling in. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Well, let's share for the viewers that maybe don't know what Live It is. Why don't you explain what you all do?
Well, what we were called to do was to get volunteers to use their gifts and talents and go out.
Yes.
Go out
I love
and take care of the widows and the orphans and the people that are in need. Those are our priority, of the widows and orphans.
Yeah.
But it's use your gift and talent to do what God's called you to do.
What did I tell you guys?
Right here in our own community.
Yes.
And you can do that in any community.
Anywhere.
Yes.
Because the Bible tells us that's what we're supposed to do.
The one thing that we do that's a little different than some, though, that talk about going out and helping, is that we then ask the people that we help, we tell them, you have a gift and talent. Use it to do something for someone else.
Pass it forward.
Live it forward.
Live it forward.
Yeah.
Yes, look at that, you guys. I love it.
Well, you know, and Terry and I were on staff some years ago at a large church, and the church oftentimes knows that we need to serve in the local community. We just don't know where the needs are.
Right.
And so what Live It does is finds the needs in the community and then gets the volunteers from not only the churches, but businesses, civic organizations as well, and gets them out there to be a blessing. And then like Terry said, then we ask the person that we help to get involved and bless somebody else.
That is so wonderful. And whose brainchild was this?
The Lord's.
Hey, the big guy, as I call him.
He put the seed in Paul's heart.
Put the seed there. How wonderful.
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been doing this?
Since January 7th of 2010. So this
Wow.
January it'll be 6 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work. And so you work with all the churches, and you go out there and you pick what the biggest need is and go for it.
Well, actually, what we do is we have been inundated with hundreds
I bet.
of requests.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
I don't know how you pick.
Well, we don't. We let the Lord pick. And
Praise God.
what we tell the people, we go out and we evaluate the situation. But we tell them, you know what? This is all about the Lord.
Yes.
He will have to bring the right volunteers.
Good for
He
you.
will have to bring the funding or the materials that we need. And if he doesn't, then we can't do it.
Can't do it.
So we're always looking for volunteers with gifts and talents that they want to go out and bless people.
You hear that, guys out there? This is what I keep telling you. There's a lot of times that you can help, and you're sitting back there thinking, what can I do? There's a need right there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of needs. I mean, there's people that, you know, we talk a lot about redoing the homes, but there's things around the home, changing a light bulb. I mean, some of the widows,
Yes.
they don't want to climb.
Yes.
Their husband did all that for them. They're not familiar with how to do it.
Right.
A ride to a doctor, maybe they don't drive.
Look at
you
that.
know, there's lots of opportunities. We do a lot of yard work and cleaning out gutters and
Handicap ramps.
yes,
Absolutely.
handicap
Yeah.
I
ramps.
imagine that's neat.
Yeah, there is a misconception that if you're going to do a Live It project, it's a construction project.
Yeah.
And we certainly do a lot of that. But again, there's so much more that folks can do and get involved. We asked some of the ladies, they may be in a wheelchair and with an O2 cannula or oxygen on, and they say, well, what can I do? Well, you can pray.
Amen.
You know, you can
I
get
love
involved.
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, matter of fact, speaking of the widows, we do a meeting. We have a couple of thrift stores in town that
Yes.
help support the fund the ministry, you know, to some degree. But on Thursday nights, we have widows that come in, the ones that we have helped or are in need of help. A lot of them don't have community. So we ask them to come and have a meal together
Oh.
and just encourage
Now
one
that's
another.
beautiful.
Well, you know, they've
I
walked.
didn't know you did that.
Yes.
That's nice.
Well, they understand what the other one's going through, so they can be
Right.
supportive.
Right.
And also, you know, if you know widows in the community, they're
There's lots
opportunity
of
for them to come. Yeah, we'd love for them to come.
And they want to do something, but
they-
they just don't know what to do.
They
Right.
really do. Yeah, and our leader for that, the ladies group, the widows group, is in the audience right now,
Yay.
Trudy.
She's
here
So,
with us tonight. Yeah.
All right. And it doesn't. How big is your volunteer base? Do you even know?
Yeah, well, we actually have a little over 1,000 that we email out to weekly.
Wow.
We send out a
I'm
weekly.
on that list. I
yeah,
get it.
Yeah, we send out a weekly needs letter, and that's just something that goes out to all those volunteers that says this is the needs for
Right.
this week. And again, like Terry said, it may be just changing a light bulb that somebody can't get to, or sweeping or cleaning a floor. You know, it's something
Yeah.
that one or two people can do, and that'll take them 1 or 2 hours.
Yes, that's so beautiful. That is beautiful, and it reaches so many people, not just the seniors, but the children, the grandchildren, like you were saying, for your home.
Well, this particular home that we just finished, the 5 grandchildren are homeschooled.
Oh.
And the mom was actually sleeping in a room with the 2 boys, so they were able to take the garage and build a whole new bedroom
How nice.
and fix the bathroom. So now there's 2 working bathrooms.
Oh, my
But you know, we work with so many different organizations within town. DCS, DHS. You know, they have kids that are almost having to move out, and if we can come in with volunteers that can do some repairs or make the home safe, then we're able to keep those children in that home.
In the home, and that's so important.
Yes.
And you guys, are you like 24/7 doing this? You get calls in the middle of the night for help?
Pretty close.
Yeah. Calls, emails, texts. Yes.
Yeah.
We have a waiting list.
Do you?
I will say that. Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
I
And
bet
and
you
it's
do.
just because, you know, we haven't either been able to get the funding or the right volunteers to meet the need. And so, unfortunately, You know, some folks have been waiting quite a while. Matter of fact, the lady we just finished had waited for 2 years
Oh, my
before
goodness.
God opened that door. But, you know, it's His timing.
It's His timing.
It's His timing.
And yeah.
Yeah, and we are getting more and more churches on board, and
That is
so
good.
Opportunities like this to get the word out
Yes.
is such a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, that's what the Bible tells us in Ephesians, the unity in the body.
Yes,
And if we
Ephesians
just
4.
can enforce that and let people understand. And I want to say a personal plea out there. I say it all the time to you guys to, you know, call a friend and get that unity going, because look what can happen. I mean, you guys are wonderful. And you guys out there may want to start a version 2 of this and
Yeah.
keep it going. That's
Yes,
so wonderful.
amen.
Oh, thank you so much.
thank
So
you.
much
This is
for
a great
being with us,
opportunity.
cameras.
Great to
I
see
love
you
you
again.
guys. You're
God bless
wonderful
you.
friends. And I want to take just a second to tell you all out there that God knows the desires of your heart. And you've got to keep a clean, pure heart. And God knows when you're there. And when you feel that urge, that little voice that says, you know, I can do something, even like these guys have said, if it's just calling your neighbor and saying, is there anything I can do, change a light bulb or something? It is such a simple thing, but it's such a big thing to the receiver. It's more of a blessing to give than to receive. God be with you. We've got more of the I Believe show coming up right after this.
We'll be right back after this short sponsor message. Don't go away. There's more to come. Our prayer lines are open right now. Please call at 865-680-1891. 865-680-1891.
Okay, guys, instead of just picking up that phone and calling me, there's another way you can reach me. Text me. But if you text me, it's kind of simple. Just text me your need and tell me what time it's best time to call you back, and I promise you I will. It's the new technology on hand, and I'm getting with the program, so you do too, okay? I love doing God's work, and that's what I feel I do here. And a while back, we interviewed Miss Marla Black on her experiences over in Israel. And for those of you that are watching us for the first time, this young lady here, how long were you gone over there?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Miss Marla Black, you guys, she was 3 weeks in Israel, right here from Tennessee. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Now, I asked you, I want to get down to the basics on the trip, and then we'll get back into more of the other stuff. But how did you feel going there? Were you scared?
No, I think this was my 9th time.
Oh, well.
And I usually go on my own. I say on my own, but I know that the Lord is with me.
Yes.
In the past, I've just gone with Jesus DVDs and tracts. Usually I use tracts from World Missionary Press, which is a faith-based organization in Indiana. Mm-hmm. So they don't charge me. I try to give them a donation, but they especially are my personal choice because they have a book in Hebrew called Wings Over Zion.
Wow,
that presents the gospel message. And I just pray for divine appointments, and I have great testimonies about how it happens. One of my favorite stories was I was standing in front of the Holy Sepulchre one day, and a Jewish lady, came up to me, and it was Maundy Thursday, and a group had just come up the Via Dolorosa, and she was asking me what it was about because she was preparing to be a tour guide.
Oh.
So I was able to
witness
to her.
Yes.
And I gave her a DVD. A couple of friends of hers came up while we were staying there. I was able to give them DVDs.
How wonderful.
Then this young man who was a Muslim had on his white robe with his white hat. I would say was probably 12 or 13 years old. Came up and asked me if he could have his picture taken with me, and I said, well, sure.
How
and
nice.
Then I pulled the Jewish lady over, and so that's my favorite picture. We have the three faces there together in one photo.
How wonderful.
And
you need to get that picture so we can share it with the audience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll see if I can find that.
Yeah.
But I've always loved the Jewish people. and I have been drawn to learn more about them and what they've suffered. For instance, God told me to go to Poland, and I said, well, why Poland? And I was studying about the different places to see. And then he told me, go to the death camps.
Wow.
And there were 6 of them.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
so we went to 5 of the 6, my husband and I. And it was an opportunity just to feel the pain, to ask how Christ was there with the people at that time, what the responsibility of the church is, and how to respond to that.
Wow.
There are buildings at 2 of them, Auschwitz and Majdanek, but each of the others has a very unusual, unique memorial that's very powerful. And they have a book for people to write in who visit there. So I was always praying for God's message to put in that particular place to leave behind. And then we've also been to Spain, and I've studied about the Inquisition in France. And we've been to many, many different museums. My husband laughs about all the churches we go into because I want to leave DVDs at the churches.
I love it.
People, specifically with people if I have an opportunity, and then I'll find out where the synagogues are, and we'll go to the synagogues, and I'll pray to be able to personally give a DVD and some tracts to someone, but if not, then I will leave them behind and hope and pray that God will cause the right
Put 'em in the right
person
hands.
to find them.
Yes.
So whenever Bill and I travel, we will take the Jesus DVDs with us in the various languages and the tracks. And so that's been a wonderful blessing to meet people along the way. But I also go on mission trips. I was actually in Israel last April with a group working with Palestinian Christians.
Nice.
I've been to Muslim countries. We teach English there. People are anxious to learn about how the Americans think, ask us questions, but also to work on their pronunciation so that they can speak as Americans. And this curriculum that we use is wonderful because it's based on Christian character qualities. And so it's very interactive as well, and they enjoy it, and people are drawn into that, and then we can pass what we call the people of peace on to the local staff there.
Love it.
And then on other trips, we just go and show the Jesus film and see how people respond. That was my very first trip. I went on to the Pokot people in Kenya, and I wanted to see, is this really as effective as it appeared to be? So my husband and I believe God called us to go back a couple of years later. And so we got the same driver and went to the same places. And I asked the Lord, I said, there was one place in particular that I kept in my mind because the people were so exceptionally poor. We set the screen up in the bush, and the people just came out from everywhere that couldn't even see at the beginning, drawn to it. And a couple of them had lost eyes because of eye disease, and the children had flies around their eyes, and it's just an image I couldn't get out of my mind. So I told him, the local evangelist that I had stayed in touch with, that that's where I'd like to go Sunday morning. So he read the message to us the night before in English, which was very powerful. And it just so happened that morning, too, that he had a discipleship class, and he was presenting them with Bibles for having completed the discipleship program. And one of them was one of the men that lost his eye, and the other one was in the audience. And all the people were very nicely dressed, and they were still meeting under a tree. But it was so special to me that hooked me. Then I wanted to go on other.
They have a thirst for the word, don't they?
Right.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
Every mission person that I've ever spoken with, that's what they all say. So you're doing a wonderful thing.
Well, to God be the glory.
Amen.
It's just
Amen.
A privilege.
More of you. And it takes a special person to be able to do that, to be able to handle that. When you weren't, see, I personally, and I don't mind sharing it with you viewers, I'm not going on a plane. I got plenty of work to do right here. This is my mission field.
We're all called to
Yes.
a very unique
Yes, we are.
purpose.
So,
Exactly.
and I always try to encourage my viewers, y'all sit back there and you're saying, oh, well, she can do this because she's got some background, or she's super intelligent, or she's got a lot of money, or whatever. But God gives us that seed in our heart. And you might be listening to her and say, I can do that. Don't be afraid. Me, I have the gift of talking. So as you know, I just get up here and talk. But each one of you out there has a seed, and you can do something for the Lord. Look at the people you've touched, you and your husband.
Well, we just hope and pray that the Spirit can use whatever we do
Yes.
to open doors.
Are you planning on going back?
That's my hope and prayer. God's will be done.
And now, does your church help you with the expenses, or do you fund everything?
God has blessed us to the point where we can fund this on our own.
Praise God.
I did have one lady from a church give me some money, and I was actually quite surprised. But it was just such an incredible affirmation to me
Yes,
that
you're doing the right
I was
thing.
extremely grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And do you mind me asking, for the viewers out there, I'm always asking questions, about how much money does it cost a person, let's say if they're in Tennessee or someplace, to go to Israel? What's the airfare like?
Well, I went on a frequent flyer ticket this last time, but I think it is, if I can remember correctly, it's around $1,500.
That's not bad, round trip.
Right.
That's nice. That's not as, I thought it was in the thousands.
Well, the woman that I roomed with was from Florida, and she said that she had gotten a ticket for $800 and flew through Russia.
Oh, wow.
So there
Yeah.
are options out there if
Yeah.
you're willing to.
Like anything else, the
the
farther out
homework.
you read, do the
Right.
homework, do the research, the magic word. But so when do you communicate with the people you meet over there? Do you keep in touch via social media or phone, or what do you do?
Yes.
Are you allowed even?
Yes. Unfortunately, Muslim girls particularly, I would love to stay in touch with, that I've had in my classes when I was teaching English. But unless it is one of the email servers that we have in the United States, I found that unfortunately it doesn't go through. So if they have a Gmail account, obviously it will. But
Well, God will find the way.
right.
Thank you, Miss Marla. This has been so exciting and so informative. You're a blessed woman, for sure.
Thank you.
We thank you for watching, and we've got more to share with you in just a minute. Just stay right there. Wow, I don't know about you, Pastor Donnie, but this has been some show. What do you think?
It's been awesome, just hearing what God has got in store.
Oh, my Lord. And the fact that, like Terry and Paul with the Live It, how they get out in the community and how they help so many people. And it's such a godly way, the way they do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it inspired even me, at this point, just to say, what else can I do,
Yeah.
as much as we do anyway.
Exactly.
But, we see there's so much of a call on all of our lives to do certain things, and anybody can get involved with that program.
That's what I
Anybody.
always say, and it's so simple.
Yeah.
And I know, how would you encourage people that are just right on the edge? I mean, you could say something to them, address those cameras, Pastor Donnie. Maybe from you they'll jump on it.
Well, I don't, as far as that goes, the point is just get involved. God has a purpose for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that purpose, involves them putting their hands to work maybe, and there's nothing that's too big or too small. That's what's
Amen.
important to think.
Amen.
Some people are like, I can't do this or I can't do that, or, I haven't studied the Bible, and, it isn't about
I
that.
used to say that.
It's taking what God has given you, your ability. God
Yes.
created everybody as an individual for a specific purpose, or has given them specific talents to use for His kingdom. I mean, I used to ride a unicycle, still do some, but I won't tell nobody
A
that.
unicycle?
Yeah, but I used it for the kingdom of God. I did. I blew people's
Okay.
minds with it and
All right
rolled out
now.
and ministered out of that. But it was just, something God gave me an ability to do, and I used it for His kingdom.
Our prayer lines are open right now. Please call at 865-680-1891. 865-680-1891.
guys. I'm glad you're here. You caught me doing what I like to do, which is reading the Word. I enjoy this Word. And the whole purpose of the show is to spread it. So I want you guys to help me, okay, in 2 ways. I want you to help me by calling people, calling your friends, emailing them, getting on social media, whatever you have to do, and tell them about the I Believe TV program. We're on the Christian Television Network, but we're also now have added to our network of exposure the Creative Christian Network, and that goes worldwide, and we even have radio added on. We have just been growing. God is blessing. He wants this word to get out there, and I want you to be part of it. We all have a story to share. We've all had a testimony. We've all been touched by God, and it doesn't have to be something bad. But I want you to connect with me because I'd like to have you on the program, and this time your friends will be on the viewing side and you're going to be over here sharing your story with the whole wide world. I so believe in the unity in the body of believers. I so love this book of Ephesians. It's my favorite book in the Bible. So come on, guys, ask God in your heart, and you're going to want to be on this side of the camera sharing it with everyone. Become a believer. And do what I do. Every morning I get up and I say, thank you, God. I love you so much. I'm a believer. Okay, guys, instead of just picking up that phone and calling me, there's another way you can reach me. Text me. It's very simple. And what I really like about that, when I'm talking to someone, I don't want to interrupt someone giving me their testimony or praying with me or asking for a need that they have. But if you text me, it's kind of simple. Just text me your need and tell me what time it's best time to call you back, and I promise you I will. It's the new technology on hand, and I'm getting with the program, so you do too, okay?
Our prayer lines are open right now. Please call at 865-680-1891. 865-680-1891.
Well, there you have it. Another show just went poof so fast. My friend, Miss Terri from Live It, she had so much information to share with you, and I know you took notes, and we're feeling blessed to hear about her and her adventures, her and her husband's adventures. And then we have Miss Marla Black. I had to bring her back in front of the cameras so we can hear some more details. God is working so much and so hard in our world that all you have to do is open your hearts and say, God, just touch me. I hope we touched you. Tune in next week and see what we're up to next week. God bless.
Now you can watch the show again on CreativeChristianNetwork.com. Join us next week, same time, and please don't forget to tell a friend.